All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome into today's edition of In the Game. I am your host, Hustle, and as always, we're going to be diving into the markets. And as mentioned over the last couple of shows, metaverse narrative is leading the charge. I mean, we have OVR up 96% this week. We have the tokens that I've been calling out here on the show. Renders up 40% this week and another 11% over the last 24 hours. We have Wilder World up 30% this week and 12% over the 24 hours. High Street, which we mentioned yesterday as well, up 20% over the last 24 hours. So the tokens that we have isolated are performing very well in the metaverse sector because that June 5th date for the Apple VR is lingering. Now, Matt, do not FOMO. There are more opportunities to come. And I honestly think due to some of these market caps, we still have some more upside to go. And I will give you some that I think are good accumulations in this video. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Like the video down below and subscribe for more every single day here on Banter, whether it's fundamentals, DeFi, charting, gaming, metaverse. We have RPV in the chat, the Shilling Show. Well, if it's shilling, well, my people are doing really well because I've been calling the metaverse narrative and it is quite pumping. So yeah, we'll go ahead and dive into it. Like the video and subscribe. Shout out to our sponsors here as well. ByBit for all of your trading needs, longing, shorting, etc. Sign up for a ByBit account down below. NordVPN, use a VPN when you're navigating crypto. Don't disclose your location. Always use a VPN and stay protected. Vulcan Forge, one of the leading blockchain gaming studios, metaverse as a service platforms, and upcoming L1 blockchains. Last but not least, SinVerse, which truly looks to be the Grand Theft Auto of the metaverse. Now, let's go ahead and dive right into it. And as mentioned, guys, I mean, the tokens we've been isolating here on the metaverse narrative have been performing super well. You know, Render, Wild, High Street, Vulcan Forge. These are some of the top performers over the last week and over the last 24 hours. Hands down, the metaverse is leading the charge. It's not just gaming tokens. We focus on the gaming tokens here for, you know, the majority of the time, but we're isolating June 5th in the metaverse as a huge opportunity right now because of the Apple VR. And Apple probably carries more weight than Facebook. And that meta narrative was massive. And it probably won't occur just like that. We're not going to see tokens quadrupling, 5xing overnight because of the Apple announcement. Like the meta announcement brought us that initial idea of, wow, the metaverse is going to be huge because Facebook, a multi-decade company at this point now, had come out and said, we are going to change our name to Meta and we're going to go all into the metaverse. So the Apple VR, it won't be as aggressive, but I still think leading up over the next 2 weeks, we have tons of opportunities to take advantage of. And I want to go over a couple of news bits in the gaming sector just quickly. Christian, I will answer that here in just a second, actually. So let's keep that comment in the war chest, and I will answer that because I think that's a really good question that we do need to answer here in just a second. But we're seeing adoption coming in the gaming side of things every single day. We talk about it here on In the Game, and I don't like STEPN. This is not talking about STEPN. That's the good news. But they are now allowing you to buy specialized NFTs from your iOS devices using Apple Pay. So imagine these mobile games you can play on your phone, blockchain enabled. Do you know how easy it is to double tap the side of your phone and pay, scan things and be able to just click pay with Apple Pay? This is an actual big deal, in my opinion. If the App Store starts allowing NFT purchases with Apple Pay, that makes the barrier of entry, it just becomes like a normal microtransaction in normal games. So I'm really bullish on Apple Pay potentially being integrated into these mobile games. And we didn't discuss this. We talked about the Clash of Clans developers getting into the Web3 gaming space, but we're also seeing Ubisoft, who has always been very bullish and pro NFT gaming. The Assassin's Creed franchise. If you aren't familiar, Assassin's Creed is one of Ubisoft's most successful franchises. They're actually releasing an NFT, comes with a physical edition. They tweeted about this last week. They are synchronizing a new collectible and collector experience is coming to the Assassin's Creed universe. So that is also, in my opinion, it's leading mass adoption. These are big brands, you know, with Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft. And even though Ubisoft has had their trials and tribulations in the Web3 space, I'm a big fan of this coming to the industry, right? Old Banter, far too easy. They rob me of money whenever I use my Apple Pay. It just makes it too easy. But at the same time, it makes it super easy for a Web2 gamer to download, let's just say, the 𝗓𝗓𝗓 Infinity app. It just came out on the App Store. So they download 𝗓𝗓𝗓 Infinity, boom, they can buy 𝗓𝗓𝗓s using Apple Pay, let's just say. That would really lower the barrier of entry instead of having to be like, yo, I got to go download a MetaMask. I got to get on the Ronin chain or the Avalanche blockchain. Like that mindset completely goes away if they can just use Apple Pay. So I'm very bullish on that regard. Now let's shift back to the metaverse and let's shift back to Christian's comment inside the chat box where he asked, pre-Apple announcement pump equals sell the news June 5th. Now, this is going to be the major question, right? Because here's the difference with this metaverse pump that we're seeing right now and the last time we had it in October 2021. Nobody expected Facebook to change their name to Meta. Like no one had that information. Nobody. We obviously knew that Oculus was their product, but no one knew the actual magnitude that Facebook was going to go out there and change their entire company branding to Meta. So it caused a pump after the fact, right? Let's just go by market cap here, and I'll pull up Sandbox. Like this happened after the news. Whenever you look at the all chart, this was right after Meta, the skyrocket for these metaverse tokens. And this is definitely not going to happen this time unless Apple is just like, we're building a metaverse or we're integrating these tokens into Apple VR, which I do think is possible. I think some of the products that have been teasing it, Vulcan Forged, for example, has said that they have something up their sleeve with the metaverse announcement with the Apple VR on June 5th. So maybe if there are integrations, right? If Decentraland or Sandbox or Vulcan Forged actually are integrated into Apple VR and that announcement comes out on June 5th, those tokens could probably continue, in my honest opinion. But what Christian said with the sell the news June 5th, some of these are definitely lining up that way. Not everything that we're seeing pump at this moment in time is going to be announced that it's going on Apple VR or that the experience is going to be compatible. The narrative that's leading up to June 5th is definitely more of a buy the rumor, sell the news than last time with the metaverse, where we got this shock announcement. It was almost like a brand new opportunity. The first time we had ever seen metaverse at that scale, Facebook changing their name. So it's definitely more of a buy the rumor, sell the news in this instance, unless the project is actually integrating into Apple VR. We're seeing Vulcan Forged up 20% this week. And I honestly think we're going to see more because they have the Vulcan 3 up in New York this week. Lots of quality speakers. We're going to have Jamie Thompson, Anthony Scaramucci, Brian D. Evans. There's Ice-T. They got a bunch of UFC fighters coming out. And Jamie says he's going to spill some alpha to end the conference. So I'm really looking forward to see what that's going to be. And Vulcan Forge just continues to build. They have so many products in their ecosystem, regardless if this is a pre-Meta versus June 5th Apple VR pump. Long term, I think that the accumulation for Vulcan Forge is going to pay off massively. And I think very shortly, we're going to see over a $4 Vulcan Forge here during this pump. And if you look at the month chart, we got as far down as in these 290 areas. So that is a pretty clean gain here when you look at Vulcan Forge. I agree, William. Would love to see some not partners. I think you mean would love to see some partnerships with these metaverses. Yeah, I would love to see Apple VR announce that, like Sandbox, Vulcanverse, Decentraland, etc., that they're compatible with Apple VR. I think that is going to be massive. Yeah, exactly. With NFT partnerships, Astro says Kevin O'Leary is speaking to. Yeah, it's going to be a big conference, and I think that he talks about it in this video. about the conference. I'm really looking ahead to Vulcan 3 and kind of seeing what's up their sleeve. I think Render, it's been a good opportunity, but this market cap is about to cross 1 billion. And if you look over the month, it's up 65% in a month. So honestly, I wouldn't go chase Render at this point in time. Even over the 7 days, it's up 40%. Great long-term play, but this is now creeping over $1 billion circulating market cap. Love the product, but I do think the time to ride this up is slowing because it already has done quite a bit of a gain. Now, I see in the chat High Street, we're going to talk about High Street in just a second. Wilder World's up 30% over the 7 days, but if you look at the month, it's only up 10%. And if you look at the year, we've had as high as 52 cents. We've had as high back here as 48 cents. I really think that Wilder World, despite the gains, despite the 30% gain over the last 7 days, I do think that we have quite a bit to go. We just broke above this 1 month range as well. We had a 30, like over the 1 month time period. And even if we just span it out just a little bit, let's see, let's go back. Yeah, I mean, like we've seen higher prices back here. And it just makes a lot of sense to me to go ahead and bet on a market cap of, let's see, where's the market cap? $94 million at this point in time. I do think that this will continue to run leading up to the metaverse. Render will at least reach all-time high by June 1st. Okay. What is the all-time high of Render? Dang. All right. Well, all-time high by all-time high by June 1st on Render. All right. Hey, I love your conviction, but that would put it at a $3 billion market cap. Now, let's just say Apple announces something with Render for Apple VR. Hey, it's not out of the question, but that's an aggressive prediction for sure. I think long-term Render is going to continue its growth, and leading up to the June 5th announcement, it could still go ahead and continue to run. But given the market cap, I think that you're going to get better gains out of stuff like Vulcan Forged, out of stuff like Wilder World and High Street. High Street is up 20% over the 7 days, but 20% over the 1 day time period. This is one that is moving very aggressively. And in the Asia markets, this is the metaverse that people really are paying attention to. It has the 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗃𝗃 backing. It has some really solid team and utility with the retail metaverse. This is one that I think could move most aggressively because the Asia pump could actually bring more liquidity here than any other metaverse token. I mean, if you look at this, it's ranked 56th on volume over all cryptocurrencies listed on CoinMarketCap. I mean, that's just showing you this is getting major liquidity. I could totally see High Street continuing even after a 1 day aggressive pump. Now let's talk about one that hasn't pumped, one that's a really good opportunity. I truly think that this is going to have a nice run up leading up to June 5th, and that's 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃. This is, they've been building since the last bull run, and they're actually building. They didn't abandon the product. They have so many different things with the open world, with different style of games, the racing, the constructing, etc. You can do so much inside of 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃. So I'm looking for 𝗂𝗃. That's the token ticker at a $26 million circulating market cap. I really think this has a lot of upside as well. Tell me token name fast. It's 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. So the ones that I still think have a lot of upside potential: Vulcan Forge, Wild, High, and 𝗂𝗃. And sure, Samurai, I completely agree with you. I think that Render and Apple probably do have something up their sleeve. Don't get me wrong, but that would be a very aggressive pump if it did reach all-time high by that time period. That would shock me. But at the same time, if they have a announcement with Apple, it could absolutely skyrocket. Not copy, 𝗂𝗃, 𝗂𝗃𝗃. That is this one. Low market cap. I think it's probably got some explosive potential leading up to June 5th. Now, let's just go over a couple of tokens that I think are good value buys. Just a handful. We're focusing on the metaverse right now, guys, because honestly, that's the narrative. we've talked about the gaming tokens, but the gaming stuff's moving slow. The metaverse is what's catching the most attention and the most liquidity in the market right now. But after the token unlock, I'm definitely looking at 𝗕𝗓𝗋𝗋𝗋. I believe the token unlock actually just occurred, and we're actually seeing a little bit of relief from that, up 6% over this day time period. And with the ecosystem of games, honestly speaking, 𝗕𝗓𝗋𝗋𝗋 has the best portfolio of games underneath their blockchain. You see Kiraverse, we have WAGMI Games, Undead Blocks, Gods Unchained, Metalcore, we have Guild of Guardians, we have Illuvium. There's so many quality. I mean, I can name so many more from this list. Star Heroes, we have Block Lords, you have Aradina. There's so many quality games building on 𝗕𝗓𝗋𝗋𝗋. This is a no-brainer for the long term. But right now, it could be a decent time to kind of start your DCAs. Small chunk, small chunk, small chunk. Over the time period, IMX is going to absolutely explode. Magic is taking a little bit of, I mean, if we look at the 1 month, right? We got as low as 78 cents. Would have been a great accumulation. But I still think at 94 cents, I think the Arbitrum narrative's coming back. I really do, especially with stuff like Sparta decks we've covered here multiple times. The liquidity is going to come back to Arbitrum. I can almost guarantee it. People want those yield, those gamified dex gains. They're going to get that on Sparta decks. And I do think Magic is still the #1 gaming play underneath the Arbitrum ecosystem. I'm looking at Veracity. Thank you, James. I really appreciate it. We're just trying to, provide value, get the tokens in front of you that I do think are undervalued. And in the space of crypto gaming, we have so much upside to go. If people stick out this side of the industry, I can almost guarantee you're going to get more gains out of the Web3 gaming and metaverse niche than any other in the industry. That's my honest conviction, and I truly believe that. Veracity, so much utility. Yesterday, I saw in the comment section, they wanted me to kind of go more in depth on Veracity. What does Veracity not do? They have an esports leg. They have streaming. They are bringing it in to ad fraud, as they see here. They have a proof of view ad stack technology that I do think is really innovative as far as businesses being able to verify that their ads are actually being consumed. They also have a watch to earn narrative. Really solid. Really solid utility here inside of Veracity. And at the market cap, don't worry about the fully diluted. A lot of those tokens will never be sold. They're a part of the ad stack platform. The market cap right now circulating 46 million, I think is a really good accumulation level. SinVerse, whenever you look at what Elio is doing, I think is a no-brainer as well. And at this market cap currently about 56 million. Really solid. And we saw a little spike up close to above 15 cents here. I really do think that Super is a decent accumulation at this time period. I also love Altura at the market cap. I heard someone I respect say this, and this is so true. You have to be willing to place bets, plant the seeds when no one else will, right? When everyone thinks it's a recession, the liquidity is getting sucked out of the market, we got the debt crisis, the average Joe isn't going to want to put money into the market. So right now is the time that you should be taking bets on undervalued plays. And this is undervalued as it gets at a $25 million market cap, as a Unity SDK solution, has their own Polygon seaport. And as you see here, games are onboarding daily to be able to come in and use their Unreal Engine SDK to turn assets into NFTs. Altura has such a runway in front of them, in my opinion, and I'm really looking to accumulate more and more as long as this market cap stays in this area. I think it's so undervalued. And then last but not least, I'm also looking at Nakamoto Games. I don't talk about it much, but you know how much I love game studios, game distributors, the Galas, the Ultras, the IMXs, GameSwift, Elixir, these type of game distribution studios, Vulcan Forged, etc. Those are the type of tokens I really like. And this is a low cap that I think also shouldn't be ignored. I'm seeing a lot in the chat box, guys. So I missed some token names. Please tell me all the names here. The ones I covered today, Vulcan Forge, Render, Wilder World, High Street, 𝗕𝗏𝗃𝗧𝗏. Those are in the metaverse niche. And then the gaming tokens that I think today are pretty decent accumulations. After this token unlock, I do think 𝗕𝗎𝗋𝗋𝗋, Magic, Veracity, SinVerse, Altera, and Nakamoto Games are very solid. Guys, I love 𝗧𝗔𝗥. I see it in the chat. Woz, you need to know your thoughts on the current price. Yeah, there's just not a lot of liquidity. Oh, yeah, there's just not a lot of liquidity hitting it. When you look at 𝗧𝗔𝗥, it's got all right volume. Unfortunately, it needs to go on some exchanges and it needs to just be a little more publicized. We need some more updates. I love Thomas. I love, the team behind the platform, but it's hard. It's hard. At a low cap like that, it's a 5 million market cap. I mean, it can fall very quick just as hard as it can rise. But I do love 𝗧𝗔𝗥. Emotional damage. Yeah, PYR has Metascape's big time metaverse narrative as well. And we'll answer some chat questions here in just a second. But I speculated this yesterday. If you watch the show, I called this stumble upon Rumble on Arbitrum. You are going to get a glove token airdrop for their free mint. So it's a free mint. It's on Arbitrum. So it's basically no gas. So I would try to get involved in this. It's a free airdrop. You can get the glove token airdrop to you just for having the glove NFT, which is free. And the gas fees on Arbitrum are negligible. So honestly, we called this yesterday. The hints that they gave were kind of obvious. But yes, you will get a glove token airdrop if you just go ahead and mint that free NFT. And then I love giving you guys early opportunities. And this is an upcoming early opportunity in the infrastructure space of Web3 gaming. It's called 𝗓𝗑𝗓. They are building their ISPO, so an initial stake pool offering where you can stake and then you can actually get involved and get 𝗓𝗑𝗓 tokens. So by staking in a 𝗓𝗑𝗓 ISPO pool, you can receive rewards in the 𝗓𝗑𝗓 tokens. You can do this on Cardano, Ethereum, Polkadot, and Polygon. This is kind of going to try to facilitate the ease of use between games, transactions, and infrastructure in Web3 gaming. So this is one that you can kind of prepare to get involved in as well. As you see, it's the one API for all things Web3 gaming and metaverse. So keep your eyes out on that. All right. Let's talk in the chat. Check out 𝗕𝗏𝗏. Yeah, it looks good. I see it in every chat box. It definitely looks solid. I've taken a look at it. I think it looks good. Check monkeys. It's a meme coin. I know monkeys. No meme coins, guys. No meme coins. Star Atlas. Said it yesterday. Love the game. Love the team. Love the product. I wouldn't invest. Personally. Please check 𝗕𝗏𝗓𝗓. We covered it. We've covered it plenty of times. I really like it. The game looks awesome. And yeah, they had their mint last week. It looks great. I like 𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓. As far as like a meme, it sounds like a meme coin, right? But the game actually is really solid. Magic Craft, yeah, it's pumping. If I go look at the metaverse tab, I'd seen it was doing some numbers, if I'm not mistaken. We'll go to the 7-day. Yeah, Magic Craft's up 50% this week. Shout out. UFO, that'll do really well in the bull run. Thoughts on Engine, or should I sell it to buy High Street or more IMX? Giovanni, my honest opinion on Engine, I wouldn't tell you where to rotate it. That's obviously on you. I believe that Engine is a bit overrated. Reason being, I talk to a lot of founders. I talk to a lot of builders. I talk to a lot of people who have their own gaming project, right? I have the luxury of doing that. People want to speak about their game, have some advice, or just get me informed. I never once in my life have heard a game that I've talked to say that they're using Engine for anything. That's my concern. I want stuff that's being adopted and I want stuff that's being used. Unfortunately, I've just never spoke to anyone who says that their game's using Engine's technology. That's my only concern, to be completely honest. I think High Street's going to keep going. I don't know if that's where I would rotate it, just because it is up, 20% over the last day. But at the same time, leading up to June 5th, it probably has more in the tank. So that's completely up to you. I think Engine's a bit overrated, though, personally. How can you not mention Gala? They don't They don't care about their investors, so I'm not going to care to talk about them. They're going to sell you overpriced NFTs. They're going to say $2,000 to play my game, and then they are going to be like, "Hey, we didn't tell you to buy it. Don't care about ROI. Don't buy our token." That's what 𝗂𝗯𝗚 does. Honestly, it's kind of bullshit. I'm gonna be real. So, dude, 2 to 3 months straight bleeding on gaming alts. Surely we're close. Yeah, maybe the Apple VR. I think Apple VR, there could be maybe some web, not just metaverse projects, but Web3 games that get integrated on Apple VR. It could really, it could happen. I think while they bleed, you just need to start accumulating your top projects based off market caps. Take a look at market caps versus the top protocols, and I think that's the way you're going to win. What are you holding momentarily? At this moment in time, my portfolio, I can just kind of run you down a couple of things that I am holding for the long term. I got some Matic, ETH, AVAX, Ultra, WASDR, Magic, Vulcan Forged, Altura, Veracity. I do hold some 𝗂𝗯𝗚, but I've held it for a long time, despite my stance on it right now. I have staked some Illuvium. I have some Mobland tokens staked as well. I have some Super. I have Wild. I have High. I used to have 𝗕𝗏𝗄 in my portfolio, but yeah, I have some Render. So yeah, that's kind of like my main holdings. Hustle flipped on 𝗂𝗯𝗚. That's objective thinking. Things move far. Appreciate. Yeah. And as where'd the comment go? I just saw it. Yeah, old Banter GB sold 𝗂𝗯𝗚 on dissing investors. Yeah, it just makes no sense. How are you going to discredit the people who are funding your ecosystem and say you don't care about their ROI and not to buy your assets, but then you're going to sell them $2,000 NFTs to play your video games? So they're going to pry every dollar they can from their users on nodes, on NFTs, on the games, on the token, and then they're going to tell you we don't care. All right, then I'm not going to fucking care about you. Sorry. Pardon my French, but that's just how I feel. Ape ready to break out. Hey, what if other side Metaverse and Apple VR have a big announcement? I could totally see it. Other side's got the money to do it. Speculation purely. Remark, I love Remark, but I also don't know what going on exactly. Don't have the time to follow what all these projects are doing. Hey, that's what I'm here to provide for you every single time on In the Game. I give you those updates. No Solana. I don't hold any Solana. I on my Phantom wallet, I think I have just enough Solana to fund some gas fees if I'm doing some NFTs over there. That's about it. I think Solana will do well next bull. Don't get me wrong. But right now in the bear market, I don't have a position there. What if Apple Metaverse, though? Bullish or bearish? It'd be bullish for the Metaverse industry in general. It was like Axie Infinity. Once Axie took off, it helped the whole industry because it made the adoption and made the actual reality that this can work real, right? Web3 games were just an idea until Axie Infinity blew up. So it's the same thing. If Apple Metaverse comes through and they're like, we're building a metaverse, it just makes it even more real and more tangible that this can blow up. And I think the metaverse projects would see a big jump, honestly. Ape gonna moon, have to expect something big out of them. Yeah, they have a great team, I gotta say. Your opinion on Victoria VR? It looks good. It's looked good for a long time. I know Rand used to like that a lot, but yeah, it's not one of my favorites. I would still stick to Wilder World, High Street, Render. I think those are better projects in my my honest opinion. Solana NFTs are a good ecosystem. They've always been strong. You have to pick quality projects for sure. But yeah, it's always been strong. 𝗙𝗏𝗏, I love 𝗙𝗏𝗏. It's like the Twitch of crypto gaming. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 was mentioned earlier. I think it looks good. Meta Theft Auto. What about NFT Champ? Yeah, good game. I've been a fan of them for a long time. I got to say, like, I'm excited to see them making progress and stuff like that. But Their community is definitely very token price go up or we riot. So I don't love that, but yeah. Price go up or we riot. Thoughts on Mega Weapon? Super fun game. I've gotten in there before. It looks really good, and the communities, like the people I've seen get involved, they really enjoy it. YGG hustle, please. Yeah. I'm not big on guilds right now. I think guilds need to overhaul their model. I think the initial guild setup of invest, have people play with your assets and extract the profits from games, I think it completely has to flip. And I actually think it will. I think that YGG, Merit Circle, Rainmaker Games, these big guilds, I think they're eventually going to adopt the esports model and use the talent that they have underneath their ecosystems and their guilds to actually be the competitive organizations that start Web3 esports. So I think they need to move towards esports rather than extractionary investing models, if that makes sense. All right, we're going to answer just a couple more. 𝗕𝗀𝗚𝗃, I got into that in the last bull run. I did really well, actually. I don't have any at this time. 𝗕𝗀𝗚𝗃 on AVAX. Yeah, really, it's a good project. Whatever happened to KRL? The team behind that was some serial rug pullers. I think they pulled the rug, my friend. They pulled the rug. SinVerse, anything? Yeah, like SinVerse, we mentioned it on yesterday's show, actually, is one that I think is really undervalued. If you look at the market cap, I mean, $2.9 million market cap. It's up 10% over the day. And I think this could also run pretty hard leading up to June 5th. I really do. And it's very resemblant of Grand Theft Auto. Releasing another Thetan Arena, but with good tokenomics would be really cool. I agree. RIP to the Thetan Arena token, and just they messed it up so hard with their ecosystem with the tokenomics. Great game, horrible economics. Like at least 𝗕𝗏𝗃𝗃 was terrible. 𝗕𝗏𝗃𝗧𝗏 was terrible. Like those games were just terrible, right? But Thetan Arena was actually so good. And unfortunately, the economics of the game just big time NFT game. Yeah, I love Big Time. I think it's a really solid game. And as far as just a game goes in Web3, it's one of the best that's out there. I just think in my opinion on Big Time, just completely honest, I think it's a Web 2 game masked with Web 3 elements. It's not a bad thing at all. But I do think they're very Web 2, and they're just kind of writing some of the narrative of Web 3, to be completely honest. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. I like Big Time. So I just think they're very Web 2. That's kind of my opinion. SinVerse news coming at Vulcan. Yeah, they are building on Vulcan Forged blockchain as well. So thoughts on Decimated? It looks awesome. It's just been kind of speculated for too long. I want to get in the game, play it myself at this point. Bring Thomas from 𝗧𝗔𝗥𝗍𝗘 back on the show this summer. Yeah, we'll definitely do another interview sprint this summer with top founders. We'll get Robbie back on. We'll get Ryan Wyatt back on. We'll from Polygon. We'll get Thomas from 𝗧𝗧𝗏. We'll get Jamie from Vulcan Forged. Yeah, we'll do a founder sprint again. This summer. What about Theta? It looks good. It's the Twitch of crypto gaming. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Theta. Yeah, Phantasma. I was going to bring up Phantasma in my low caps, but we're just kind of short on time at the moment. But yes, I talked to the Phantasma team recently. They actually have some really cool things up their sleeve. So I think it's like a $13 million market cap right now. Let me double check that. $15 million market cap. It's pretty undervalued. Last one I'm going to answer is Cryo War. So Cryo War, OG bull run project, right? This was one that was heavily talked about during last bull, but if we look at the all chart, it's definitely not pretty, right? So as far as like the Cryo War token, I wouldn't be involved at all. I'm going to be honest. I would stay the F away from investing in this. But the game looks super cool, I have to say. The game still looks cool, and it's in alpha and beta stages. But man, talk about an ugly chart. Yo, let's grab sushi with Elijah soon. You know I'm down. You know I am down. That would be a good time. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. We're over 30 minutes. We've been answering all the chat questions, so I hope you guys like it. You know, we go over my narrative, we go over the metaverse narrative, and you know, if you look at the tokens that we've been giving you over the last couple days, you would have been doing really well with High Street, Wilder World, Render, Vulcan Forged, etc., as they are at the top of the list at the moment as far as 7-day gains. But always stay diligent out there. Take profits when applicable, and just always be on your toes. The market can always shift at any given moment in time. But leading up to June 5th, the metaverse is going to continue. I can almost guarantee it. This is going to be the biggest, the absolute biggest narrative up until June 5th. And if Apple announces some sort of bombshell, you know, take a look, and this industry is probably going to take another leg up, and we could see some sort of a meta movement at that time period. So like the video, subscribe down below. I'll be back tomorrow. As always, play well, my friends.